is in session, verdict is in. No appeal on the docket today, just my own sin. The walls cold and pale, the cage made of steel. Screams fill the room, alone I drop and kneel, and I said, oh. Alright, this is a tutorial for My Own Prison by Creed. It is tuned a half step down, and then it is also in drop D. So the top string. And then the bottom string is also in the drop D. And this is the same tuning that Creed uses in their unplugged version of this song. I think in the standard version they do drop D in standard tuning, but in their unplugged version they bring it down a half step. So the first chord we're going to use, we're hitting all 6 strings, and this is like a D chord except no middle finger. So fret 3 here, top 3 open, fret 2 right here, fret 3 right here, and then the bottom one's open. So we hit this twice, well 3 times, go like this, 1, 2, and then do a hammer right here, 1 string down from the top, and then do another hammer right here, and then hit this one open, and then come back up, then we're going barring these 3 strings tops, and then put your ring right here. Now you can hit all 4 or just the top 3 if you don't want to hit this one. But even if you're not hitting this one, you should still put your finger here just to kind of block it. And then it does this. So start on fret 3, 1 string down, then go to 5, then back to 3, then come up 1 to 5, then down to 3, and then this one open. Now there's 2 different licks you do here. It's this one, and then so instead of hitting that one open, we're bending that one and then hitting the top one open. So just go back and forth like every other one. Just switch it every time if you can remember to keep switching them, or just do it randomly. So we're doing that once, and then we start singing. A chord is in session, and then right in the middle of saying session, we're going to switch to this. Like in the Creed version, it keeps doing this lick every time. But it's too hard to sing and play that lick every time at the same time. For me anyways. If you can do it, go ahead and do it. But I just do this, because they do this part like later in the song, but I just do it right away. A chord is in session. So what we're doing here is 1 string down, fret 1, and then fret 3 on those 2. And then don't hit the strings under that. And we're going to do a hammer right here. And then we're switching to this chord again that we already used, where you bar the top three. And then cover that one on 5. A chord is in session, a verdict. So as soon as you say verdict, we're going to this one. A verdict is in, and then back to the beginning, and then the pattern starts over. No appeal on the docket today, just my own sin. The walls cold and pale, the cage made of steel. Screams fill the room, alone I drop and kneel. And I said, oh. So when we say, and I say, oh, we're staying right here, but then we're going to bar everything. So bar this whole fret, then put your ring right here, 2 strings from the bottom on fret 5, and then your pinky's going fret 6 right there. So that's the chord. And I said, oh, so I held my head up. Right when we say high, we're going to go down a fret. High. So I held my head up high, hiding hate that burns in. Right when we say side, we're going down one more. Still holding the same chord. We're just going down like that. So I held my head up high, hiding hate that burns inside, which only fuels their selfish. Right when we say pride, we're going back to this chord that we've already been using, but we're holding it with these 2 fingers because those are the ones you're using as you climb down. So I held my head up high, hiding hate that burns inside, which only fuels their selfish pride. And I said, oh. So you do a little climb right here. Selfish pride. And then slide up to 4 and 5, and then to 5 and 6. And I said, and then you bring your finger back down to start the pattern over. And I said, oh, right when you say oh, we're going from this all being open. And I said, oh, just clamp it down and these fingers just stay where they are. Oh, all held captive out from the sun, a sun that shines on only some. We the meek are all in one. And then it starts over. I hear a thunder in the distance, I see a vision of the cross. And just on that first verse, I don't do that because you're still kind of singing during that part. So it's easier to just keep strumming that one just for the first part. I hear a thunder in the distance, I see a vision of the cross. I feel a pain that was given on a sad day of loss. A lion roars in the darkness, only he holds a key. A light to free me from my burden and grant me life eternally. And then, on this Shoulda Been Dead on a Sunday Morning, this is when the band actually does start doing this part. Because up till then, they just keep playing they keep doing that until you get to Shoulda Been Dead on a Sunday Morning. So, shoulda been dead on a Sunday morning, banging my head. no time for mourning, ain't got no time. Shoulda been dead on a Sunday morning, banging my head. No time for mourning, ain't got no time. And I said, oh, so I held my head up high, hiding hate that burns inside, which only fuels their selfish pride. And I said, oh, all held captive out from the sun, a sun that shines on only some. We the meek are all in one. Down, da da do down, da da do down, da da do down, da da do. Alright, so it changes at this part. We start with this chord that we've done. We're barring 3. And then I just hum this, I just do the solo like this. Down, 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 down. Like in the song, there's a guitar doing that, but I just sing it. So we start with this, and then we come down and do, it's just like this chord that we were using, but it's just right here on fret 3 and 5. So, and then we're to that D looking chord, and then we're doing this chord, and then back to the beginning. Down, da da do down, da da do down, da da do down, da da do. Cry out to God, seeking only His decision. Gabriel stands and confirms I've created my own prison. I cry out to God, seeking only His decision. Gabriel stands and confirms I've created my own prison. Should have been dead on a Sunday morning, banging my head. No time for mourning, ain't got no time. And that's how you end it, with that same little climb down that we used before. And I cut out like a minute of it because they just start repeating themselves at the end a little bit. So, like in my cover, I cut out the parts where they keep repeating themselves and just shorten it down a little bit. But every part of the song was in this lesson, though. They just do the couple verses twice at the end if you want to do the whole thing. But anyways, that'll do it. Hope that was helpful. Catch y'all later.